Char Margolis, Char Communications Incorporated, and CharVision LLC do not endorse or offer for any purpose but entertainment the views of any guest or other expert on CharVision or UBN.
I knew things before they happened from the time I was a child. At the age of 8, I saw a spirit at the foot of my bed and didn't know what it was. And in my 20s, I finally realized I had a special ability that could help others. I have learned that love never dies. There is a spirit world that can communicate with us, and we all have the gift of intuition. Join me, and together we will explore the possibilities of the unknown from beyond and more. This is CharVision. Hey everybody, happy holidays. I hope you have done all your Christmas shopping. I haven't, but I hope you have. I'm so excited because the winter solstice is upon us, and I have an expert here about it. And what a great gift for all of us to learn about the winter solstice. And I have Patti Negri back. Patti Negri's in the house, and Patti has been a great friend of CharVision, and she's an amazing psychic, and she's also a good witch and is fascinating. So let's talk about the winter solstice. Tell us about it.
Okay, winter solstice, it's about December 21, 22, and it has been celebrated literally for thousands of years, for millenniums in every culture. What it means is, well, as we know, it's the shortest day of the year. It's when the days start getting longer again, and it's a celebration in almost every culture of the return of the sun.
And what date is it?
December 21 or December 22.
Okay.
In our hemisphere. It's actually opposite in the southern hemisphere.
Oh.
Because they have summer and winter opposite.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's crazy. Huh?
That's right.
But so it's Roman cultures, Celtic cultures, Druidic cultures. Actually, the red and green and white that we get for Christmas is actually Druidic. That's the colors of the solstice, of Yule. Yule is a Nordic term from Jule, for the light, bringing back the light.
Yuletide.
That's what the Yule log.
Yuletide?
Yuletide, and the Yule log, and the Christmas tree, is all not really a Christmas tree, it's a solstice tree.
How did a Christmas tree even come about? That has nothing to do with really Christmas.
Nothing to do, because think about Jesus in the desert. There weren't any pine trees. There weren't, none. But what it is, what I think is a sweet thing, how religions come together, when this new Christianity came in, they were talking to all these pagans who worked earth cycles because they were people of the land. They were farmers and ranchers. They knew the dark days and the light days, and when spring was coming, life. So we're literally coming from the dark time to the time of light. And it is a sun celebration, the birth of light. All of a sudden, there's this new guy, Jesus, and he's the Son of God. He is light to the world. So if they put it on the same time, whether that's the exact time or not, I have no idea. But that's why all those celebrations of the bringing of the light are at the same time. Hanukkah, Christmas, Yule, and in every culture from Persian to Antarctica to Saturnalia to Roman to Indian, they all have very similar things. If you take away the exact same words, they're celebrating the same thing, the return of light, the return of life. We're going from the dark, scary time of death and darkness into light.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
so
never knew that.
The closest to our Christmas celebration is Saturnalia, which is kind of a Bacchanalia Roman festival of a little bit of debauchery, but mostly family, fun, feasting. And that's where we kind of get the Christmas and the gifts.
And in Hanukkah, they do the Festival of
the
Lights.
Festival of Lights.
Yeah.
It's all the same.
And
if
it's
you
all
take it
about
back to
light.
the roots.
And light is a lot better than dark. And
yeah,
we all need to stay in the light,
We all need-
everybody, because we want to stay protected, right?
Yes, stay protected and stay in the light. And again, this is the returning of life cycle. We made it another year. We made it another year.
So celebrating the light
is return of
It's
the
really
light.
a spiritual
It's a very
celebration.
spiritual thing. In almost every culture, it is a spiritual, whether they're doing to their grain gods or their Roman gods or their Saturn itself. Saturnalia is to the god Saturn and how powerful he is. Let's have fun.
What are some of your favorite winter solstice rituals?
My favorite, I actually do like anything to do with the tree and the green. Again, the Christians borrowed it because there weren't pine, but the Yule log and the singing and the feasting and the gift giving is all part of that old pagan stuff, and the Druidic and the Celtic. Like I said, the colors, the green. the Yule log. I also like, I'm part of a Saturnalia, which is, how they did thing was inside out and backwards. Christmas has not adopted most of this except for the festival part. But at a Saturnalia party I go to every year, boys dress like girls, or girls dress like boys, or you wear your clothes inside out or backwards. You have dessert, and then you have backwards. You do dessert first, and then you eat your main course.
Wait, is
and
that
then
like
you have
Caitlyn Jenner all year round?
I like Caitlyn Jenner all year long, but you're not trying to be the opposite sex. You're just trying to be backwards and upside down. Again, like literally, your clothes are on backwards or upside down, or your inside clothes are on the outside. Your
And
undergarments.
why is this?
It's just kind of crazy. It's for the god Saturn, and in the
olden
olden
days,
days,
okay,
the gods they like slaves. That was the time of slaves. The masters would serve them for a day. Wars would literally stop for a day. Or a week. I think they really went on a week. But it was this celebration of life and the topsy-turviness of life. I don't know getting into the exact details of what's or why for's, but I think it's, if you mess things up a little bit, like in this world, we're always striving to do it right and to go there.
Perfection.
Perfection.
There is no perfection.
But there is no perfection. And if you celebrate the craziness, then guess what? You're going to get to the perfection that much faster, and celebrating that you don't have it. So it's really fun. It's
So do you practice that?
I do. I practice is a strong word. I celebrate it.
You celebrate it.
I celebrate Saturnalia.
So what do you do?
I dress goofy.
Yeah.
Last year I went as a nun. I mean, it's not quite Halloween, but it's like, I'm certainly not a nun. So I wore a nun's costume. But again, or the backwards, inside out. And again, we just did a celebration. It was kind of singing and dancing and eating. And I think we did a little bit of a ritual, just kind of recognize spirit and love and life.
Like you did a prayer together?
Yeah, we did a prayer together. I think we did a little bit of a ritual. But usually we would do ritual and then celebrate. This was backward. We would celebrate it and then do ritual. So it gets a little chaotic and fun.
That's really...
And the tradition about Yule log, a lot of people still do that. That was from the Druidic time.
What does Yule mean? Yuletide?
Yule means sun. Actually, I have that written down somewhere. Oh, I don't know where.
It's okay. Take your time.
Yule. It's Norse meaning jewel, which means movement, calendar, wheel. It means wheel. Wheel of the year. We're at this is the first day of the sun sign of the year. So it's literally the new year of the sun coming back for the year. So Yule means wheel.
You know, I have a friend who's an astrologer who was on the show, Kat Hunter, and she says the real new year for individuals is the night before their birthday, astrologically.
Oh, that makes sense, doesn't it?
It does, right?
Yeah.
So she says whatever you do on New Year's or New Year's Eve or whatever, or the solstice, she said really you should be doing individually for all of us, if it's your birthday, the night before, celebrating your new year.
Your trip around the sun. Yeah.
Although this is great too, because this is a universal thing that we can all do together. So I think we want to celebrate the planet.
Yeah, we want to celebrate the planet and the continuation of life cycle everywhere. From just looking at in Arizona, the Kachina dolls are all about that. They dance and they give these dolls of the celebration of life, the native people. In places I can't even describe, in Mithra, Yalda, Rami, again, the Roman, the Peruvian. Everybody ties it together. The Mayan Indians honor the sun god they worship long before the Christianity came in. Again, the sun and sun all matched up together, the bringing back of light, of life.
Does anything magical ever happen during this time?
A lot of things magical. It's not like Samhain, which we just had, Halloween, when the veil is the thinnest, just like at Beltane, which is May Day, the veil is thin, when people dance around the maypole. That was literally when that veil is between us. Everybody's a little more psychic, no matter what your gifts. Everybody can communicate with the deceased. It's not that. It's
also the Day of the Dead.
Also, which is right there, Samhain. That's all the same time. That's the time to celebrate your ancestors. You know, I will do at that holiday, you know, here's my dad's picture and have dinner with him right then and there, you know, from beyond. It's great. So this isn't that kind of open. This is literally celebrating our earthly life. And again, plants are coming back. People who we live in California, we don't have that seasons. But other people, everything's been dead and it's underground and light is coming back, the new hope.
The new hope.
The new hope. So
but then it doesn't happen till spring. The flowers don't come till spring.
No, it's a slow process, but every day the day is longer. Every day the night is shorter. So it's that, you know, nothing is wham bang. Life cycles. That's why it's the wheel, the Yule. Wheel of the Year. And a lot of people, the Yule log, a lot of traditions save a little piece of it for good luck for the next year, and they'll burn it or they'll save the ashes for it. One culture believes putting some of the ashes of your Yule log under your bed for good luck. And again, these little things that kind of match up across the globe. It's like, I don't know, were the Norse people talking to the Peruvians, talking to the people in, I don't think so, but there's just something magic to that. That's what
that
magic
makes sense.
is. Yeah.
That makes sense because everything has energy. And so acknowledging this gives it more energy.
Yeah, it gives it more energy. So there's lots to do. So everybody should burn a Yule log if you can.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a fireplace, burn a candle. Name it Yule. I don't know. Yule
maybe
log.
You can
Bringing back
maybe
the
you
light.
can write Yule on your candle.
Write Yule on your candle. This is your
just carve it in.
I think that's perfect. Or Sharpie if it's a glass candle. I'm the queen of carving with a Sharpie.
With the Sharpie.
Well, you know, when you can't do a regular candle and you need to leave it and you have cats and dogs.
Oh,
and
right. Oh,
I'm
right.
doing sigils and symbols and everything.
Because you can't leave the light, the fire burning.
And if it's something I choose that I really do want to keep this burning.
What are there any like really strange solstice practices? Like really weird?
So, a lot going back. Some of those early Roman ones got a little violent. There was like sacrificial things.
They did.
One culture they tied around 3 guys, and they tied a rope to them, like you're bungee jumping without the thing. And if you
without
didn't
the
hit
bungee cord?
Yeah, well, they had a cord, but it wasn't a bouncy cord. And some guys, the rope wouldn't be short enough. So if you lived, it's a good year. If you hit the ground, it wasn't such a good year. You know, so there are a few things were a little kind of barbaric.
Well,
chaotic.
you know, like some people might be making fun of this, watching this, but really, I mean, everybody when the groundhog sees a shadow, everybody's looking to see if the groundhog's going to see the shadow, if it's going to be a good winter or a bad winter. I mean, there's so many rituals like that people, or what is it called when people, like knock on wood, what is that called? That's called
a superstition.
Superstition, yeah. They have superstitions.
See, I believe we all are, whatever words, there's a million words, of this great consciousness, the Akashic records, of this, that thing. And I think we all have it in our bloodline. I think we all have all the answers to everything. We just don't trust it.
Yeah.
Just like your little puppy would know how to take care of its little puppies along the way, and animals and wild animals, that instinct. It's just been a little taught out of us in modern culture, especially in Western culture.
Just like our intuition's taught out of us.
Our intuition is taught out of us.
It's starting to come a little bit.
It is.
Yeah.
And as the veil thins, it's going to be more and more and more.
Right.
And if we would just take the time to listen to ourselves, we're pretty smart.
We are, if we would listen.
If we would listen.
And get
trust.
out of our way.
Yeah.
We get in our way too many times, and we don't
time.
trust it, and then we don't listen, and then we don't act on it, and then we're screwed.
Yeah, over and over again.
But if you read my books and you go to my classes, you wouldn't be screwed because you would know what to do. Yeah. And how can people put the energy of the solstice to work for them? Like, how can our CharVision people use this wonderful moment of energy to help ourselves?
Okay, again, celebrate life and the cycles of life, even death and life and rebirth. Do that combination of all the things. Even Santa Claus, again, has nothing to do with Jesus. There wasn't the red outfit.
How did he get in the picture?
He belongs to every culture. I wrote that down too. Okay, Santa Claus. Here's where he came from, and I'll read this. Today's Santa folk figure with multicultural, I have to tell you, the red suit came from Coca-Cola, period. The red suit came Coca, because he had other outfits. Coca-Cola did it. But he's got characteristics of Saturn. Who knew? I know, it's crazy. The Roman agricultural god, Cronus, the Greek god also known as Father Time, and we've all heard that. The Holly King is the Celtic god of the dying year, again, the dying year and the rebirth of the new year. Father Ice or Grandfather Frost, which is the Russian winter god.
Right.
Scandinavian, the father god who rides through the sky on an 8-legged horse. Frey, the Norse fertility god, the Norse land spirit, and there's another guy who rides on something, but he's got goats instead of reindeer. But again, all these gods, Santa Claus has come out of all.
I know another one.
Really?
Yeah. I lived in the Netherlands on and off for a while because I had TV shows there. And earlier in December, they have Santa Claus. I think it's called Santa Claus or something like that with their accents. I'm not good at it. But it was like Christmas for them. They celebrated Christmas twice.
That's good.
Yeah, and it was a big deal to celebrate Santa Claus, and I'm not even sure what he meant or what he did, but I know that was a big celebration and people bought presents.
Yeah, it's all about presents. Again, we made it through gift giving, fruits, and that's why people decorate the cornucopias and fruits come in, and the bright colors. Again, the returning of light.
What is a cornucopia? What does it represent?
A cornucopia, to me,
What is that? A squash?
no, a cornucopia is almost like the tube thing. A cornucopia means a plethora of things, I think. A plenty. It means of plenty. Thank you. Horn of
Elisa's
plenty.
helping us out.
Yeah, she's good.
Because Elisa
Thank you,
really knows
Elisa.
her stuff.
Oh,
Our
it's a horn
producer,
of plenty.
Elisa
So like
Ross.
at Thanksgiving time that you put it with all the different things. But to me, that's what this is about, that life is coming back. So I would say decorate your house, use candles, use lights, light a fireplace if you have that luxury. Sing songs with your family, dine together with friends.
Yeah, bring the love and the energy and celebrate.
Celebrate.
Now, is there anything we can do at this time, or is there anything that shows us if this is going to be a great year or not, or a good year or not? Is there anything that, symbols, signs, is there anything like that?
Well, I think that
Like El Nino's coming.
like El Nino's coming. I
Yeah.
know, El Nino's coming. Get those sandbags out.
When does that start, El Nino, anyway?
They wanted us to I go to a lot of city things here in Los Angeles, and they didn't want to push it too much until we got through fire season. Because we're still in a scary, scary fire season here in Los Angeles, and they didn't want to confuse our little brains with watch out for fire, don't water your yard, and then floods are coming.
Right.
So in about a week, they're going to lay out a huge disaster preparedness for Los Angeles.
They are.
They are.
Because there's going to be floods,
So they think.
fires, and earthquakes and floods.
Oh my! Yes, oh my. So I don't know about as time of divination that the time is. I don't know that, but I think we can all create our own. And since I do believe that we are the architects to create our own, that is the time to do it. If this is the birth of the sun, it's one of the new years, choose, like, this is what I'm going to do.
Like, it's too bad it can't show us. Did I
Yeah.
interrupt you? I'm sorry.
No, please. No, you didn't.
It's too bad they can't show us, like, well, it's going to be El Nino. Does that mean earthquakes are going to be here too?
No, I think just a whole lot of water.
Just
I
a
mean,
whole lot of
earthquakes
water?
maybe, just because we're so overdue.
We're
but-
100 years
Overdue?
overdue
Yeah.
of earthquakes.
I'm a native. I've been here a whole long time, my whole life. I haven't felt an earthquake since '94. It's over 10 years.
Was that the Northridge
That
one?
was the Northridge.
Oh boy, did I feel
haven't-
that one.
But I haven't felt one since then at all. They say we had a little something. I haven't felt any earth shaking, so we're overdue. But I don't think the water will affect the earthquakes.
No?
No. Unless you have really bad foundation. Make your own.
But like it's like you see on TV, there's sinkholes in
Yeah.
Florida, and I just saw on TV somewhere where the earth somewhere is just it's separating, it's opening. It's weird.
Mother Earth is a living entity, and we try to make, it's not like the cement little pad we poured over here in our patio.
Yeah.
Again, that's the thing, like no matter how good weathermen or how many Doppler 700, 900, 500, 200, no matter how strongly they know it's going to rain on Tuesday, more times than not, the rain doesn't come on Tuesday. That's magic. That's Mother Nature going, certain things are just me.
Because Mother Nature is powerful, and we need to respect
it.
her.
That should be everybody's. If anybody could bring into what their solstice, their Christmas, their Hanukkah, their Kwanzaa, all the religions, old and new.
She's the goddess.
If it could be, she is the goddess.
She's the head goddess.
The sun is coming back. There is light. There is life, whatever your belief system. If we could then say, okay, now this year I'm going to be a little more aware, a little more conscious, a little more conservation, a little bit more care. Mm-hmm. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, because we really need to protect the earth, and we need to help Mother Nature because the oceans are falling apart with global warming.
That's what everybody's real spirituality or religion should lead to, in my thought.
I agree with you.
A little bit of consciousness, whether it's out of because we're hitting the end of the road and people like, oops, got to deal with it now, or what. But that's where we need to.
But I just heard that there was some kind of fish that, because the waters were so warm here, never left.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, which is scary because we're losing a lot of our oceans and the coral, and I mean, I hate to see what our grandchildren and great-grandchildren are going to have to experience because we did not protect the earth.
Yeah.
I mean, Mother Nature can only do so much.
Right.
We got to help her.
We got to help her because we're hurting her. She would do whatever on her own, but it's our pollution, it's our miscare. I see it in my little life. It's not taking all this evolution. What happened in the yard? I go up to Lake Hollywood, which is a reservoir right here in Los Angeles.
I've hiked there.
Every day. I go there 6 days
You go every day?
I teach a free class there at 8, 10 a.m. Anybody
You do?
wants to come on the dam. Mm-hmm.
How do we get a hold of you to do that?
Just show up at the Weed Lake Gate at 10 minutes after 8 or call me or be at my house.
What kind of class is this?
It's called PACE Express, Progressively Accelerating Cardiopulmonary Exertion.
I need to do this.
You should do this. It's really fun. And
I used to hike around there all the time.
And we do, it's literally 4 4-minute sets of what we did in gym class.
They don't allow dogs.
They don't allow dogs. But we bring a lot of dogs and we tie them up like 20 feet away from us at the gate.
Okay.
Those people don't get to walk though, but we bring
Yeah.
a lot of dogs in my little thing, but you can't
Yeah.
bring them in unless it's
Yeah.
a service dog. But yeah, it's 4-minute sets that after just 16 minutes of exercise, you get as much cardio as in an hour because your heart rate goes up, down, up, down. It's by Dr. Sears. I'm a certified trainer in it, and I do it for free just to get myself
You do a lot
there.
of things.
I do.
Wait, you are a choreographer, right?
We used to be, yeah.
And you tell us what you did?
I have a production company called Brain Brew Entertainment. So I produce shows, I write shows, I create shows. I don't direct.
You're pretty amazing.
No, I just.
And so, okay, so you're a good witch.
I'm a good witch.
And you're a psychic.
I'm a psychic.
And you're a healer.
I'm a healer.
And
I teach free classes to work out, and I'm on every
That's so
nonprofit
nice.
board in the world, I think. I'm
Yeah,
president of it's ridiculous.
That's
I'm just a
difficult
girl
when
who
you-
can't say no.
You are.
That should be my theme song. Can
Yeah.
you do this? Sure. Yeah.
Oh.
But again,
What sign are you?
I'm a Libra. I'm
you
by the
are.
book, in the middle, 13th Libra.
Do you know about astrology as well?
Not a lot, because it's a little left brain for me. I love it, but I dance left brain, right brain, so I'm very both brain, as you are too. You're very, but that's very the science of astrology is like, what was that? I have to read that? It just doesn't stick the same way. I'm a little more intuitive.
Yeah,
but I love it,
you're
and I
intuitive.
respect good astrologers. Oh,
Yeah,
my
I don't
God.
know if you guys remember when Patti was here before, the way we met. Like, you were called out of the blue for me to read for her
on Dr. Phil.
on Dr. Phil, and I
She's
had no
great.
idea. Well, that's
Yeah,
so
and you just
kind.
named everything you got when I got my gift. Named everybody I'd ever met in my life
Well-
who was deceased. Okay.
Well, that's so kind of you to
no,
share, but
that's why it's an honor to be here. You're just
it's
awesome.
really my honor. But the thing is that life brings us gifts, and life brings people into our world for reasons. There's no accidents. Everything happens for a reason. And it happened for us to be together so you can, and then Elisa, our producer, our executive producer, Elisa, who makes everything happen here, calls her. I didn't know that she called her, and I didn't realize that she was this gifted woman. And then she shows up for the interview. So, and I had met her before, so there are no accidents. Except when he goes potty in the house, which he doesn't do very often. But not in my house, but other people's he might. Just mark his territory, but not really. Okay, so now if people want to get a hold of you.
Go to my website.
Okay, what is it?
PattiNegri.com. PattiNegri.com. And from there there's phones and emails and YouTube
Okay,
pages.
there's two T's.
Two T's.
Patti Negri. And tell us what you're up to now. What are you doing now?
I've been, it's being a witch as well as the psychic medium. We just got through October, a while back now. But I've been doing a lot of teaching, a lot of speaking. I just got back from doing a big group at UC Santa Barbara, which was fun. I love young people. Whoa. Don't you love young people?
I love young
Their
people. Their
energy force, when you all of a sudden you have somebody between 19 and 21, 22, it's like, whoa, we just raised the roof.
They're so open.
They're so open.
And I think that they were born with the block out, especially because a lot of their parents were from the 60s or 70s.
And they're more light. So I've been doing a lot of that and teaching. And again, a lot of
you're a house cleaner. You're a house cleaner.
I'm a house cleaner. I've been doing a lot of house cleaning, a lot of office cleaning.
Because I don't really do that, but I think that would be good. Like if anyone feels like there's a negative energy in their home,
yes,
you can help.
Yeah, clear it, because it's people so funny when they move. You think, or maybe after a death or an illness or a divorce or the kids move out, or there's just a lot of arguing or you're not feeling creative. Yeah, you might have a spirit there. It might just be stuck, stale energy, though.
Right.
It most of the time isn't a spirit. And you paint, you clean your house, you get new furniture. Nobody thinks about the energy. I mean, we do, but other people don't. So I work very elementally because of my shaman and pagan background. So I show up, I look like Mary Poppins with two big baskets and a broom, cleaning house. I got a broom, and I work herbs and oils, and we go. First, I walk through and I feel, this feels good, this feels heavy. I bet you're not very creative in here, and the arguments are in here, and okay, you do have a portal in this closet. I bet you've had a lot of paranormal. And then I set up sacred space and we clear it, and really with brooms and sage and all the stuff.
Do you do it by yourself, or
I make the people do it with me.
Because I always tell people they need to sage their own homes because they need to own the power in their homes.
You do.
If you call somebody else to do it, then it's okay for you to help and guide them, but they need to learn how to do it themselves.
Because there's more power. Even when I'm a spellcrafter, I'm like, I'm not doing this for you. You're sitting right here. You are bringing that intent. You are carving on that candle with me. I'll show you what to do, how to do it, and I'll burn these herbs. But no, it is. And I also suggest that after sage, a lot of people, I think, just sage and that they're not experienced to bring that intent back. After saging, then bring in a sweet incense, a light candle, fill it back up. Because so often,
sage, you want to bring it in.
Sage is it's like Comet. It's like you've just, it's like gets rid of everything, anger, this. It's like you've dusted your whole house, but you've left all the doors and windows open in a sandstorm. So it feels really good for a day or two. Then all of a sudden, it's like crinky again. It's like it felt so good, and
you need
to
bring it back.
Bring it back. So then, some sandalwood, anything angelic, some frankincense, myrrh, sacred, holy incense, and go fill it back up. And in my living room, what do I want? Conversation, good people. Who's allowed in my front door? Only people invited in, people with good intent. What do you want in your master bedroom? Sleep, sanctuary, great sex. What is your bathroom? Good body image, elimination, good plumbing, literally, physically, and health. And you refill it up with these sweet incenses, and then it's filled up again. It stays.
Is frankincense and myrrh connected to the winter solstice?
It is, because of Christmas.
What is it? Tell us.
Frankincense and myrrh are just, they're herbs. They're very powerful herbs, and they're very spiritual herbs. They're light and very angelic and all this stuff. So that's why they were brought to the baby Jesus. That's why
they were brought to the baby Jesus.
That's what the wise men brought, was frankincense and myrrh, were some of the gifts. And I use it because it's a high vibration. Again, I don't get into the stories behind all of this stuff. I see vibration. So it's a very high vibration, and it opens the channels, and it brings in light, and it brings in possibility.
So what a great thing for people to bring into their homes around this holiday.
Yes, that's a great thing to do. Clear your house
Yeah.
again. And you could do it lots of ways, betwixt and between, just like you do a quick dust, do a quick sage and then incense, or just the incense part, or play some of your favorite music and dance through the living room. Shake it up.
Patty, you are an inspiration for us, because
Thank
really you're not shy about sharing all the things that are spiritual and that some people may not understand, but I get it, and I appreciate you sharing this with us. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. My pleasure.
And what's your website again?
PattiNegri.com. PattiNegri.com.
Okay, everybody. I think you might want to call Patty if you need your house clean, but it's not like Maids for Us. It's just like an energy clean. Anyway, thank you so much for being here, and don't go away, because I have a surprise for you, so come back. Hey everybody, you probably think I only do individual readings, but sometimes I get a message for everybody. And I wrote a poem that was channeled through me, and I'd like to read it to you. It's called Until We Meet Again by Char Margolis, a message from heaven. My work is done, it's time to leave. Know that I am also missing you as you grieve. I completed my karma on the earth, and now it is time for my rebirth. I'm flying with eagles and dancing on stars. Please know that I haven't gone far. The love we have will carry us through until the day I am again with you. What an amazing journey this passing over can be. I am in good company. I know you hurt, but please trust me. Our journey together is for eternity. So until the day our souls reunite, stay peaceful and well, and use your spirit sight. I will bring you signs from up above, a butterfly, a bird, my sign of love. Don't worry about me. I'm in good hands. Stay strong, stay positive, and continue to pray. When it is your natural day to graduate from the earth, look for me in the bright white light. We have completed our purpose, and all will be right. This is handmade. It's signed by me. It's an affordable gift for any occasion. Just go to char.net and click on store. Welcome back, everybody. I'm so excited because I have my friend here today, Dr. Rick Ng, and he's from the Center of Holistic Medicine, and you have already met his partners, Dr. Nussbaum and Dr. Brownstein, and I only hear rave reviews about Dr. Ng, and there's so much he has to teach us, and he's a native of Detroit, and he went to Wayne State University, and you got your degree from Wayne State University, right?
Everything from Wayne. Haven't
Do you know I went there too, but I didn't get a doctorate. I have a teaching degree from there.
That works well too.
Yep, it's all good. So now, so you co-founded the Center of Holistic Medicine with Jeff and David, right?
Correct.
Okay, well, it's an amazing place, everybody. It's just, these guys are the best healers, and Rick is incredible. So you're going to tell us about the 5 factors impacting our health, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, this is kind of things. Yeah, these are kind of the things that we've come upon after doing our stint with holistic medicine. We try to boil it down to simple things that can help people out, so people will understand what's causing their imbalances, so they can go and rectify them.
Right. Okay. So the first one is is adrenal stress. Ugh.
Correct. And that's something that, it can be exterior or interior. Exterior things would be biting off more than we can chew, assuming a lot of responsibility, signing up for different types of volunteer groups, assuming certain responsibilities, External stresses are things that we are always biting off more than we can chew. Internal stress are things that we kind of do to ourselves. And a lot of it comes from a lack of knowledge of things that we should be eating, where we're filling ourselves up with unwanted processed foods, nutritional deficiencies, and chaos from that degree.
And what
I think that one of the few things that people agree with is they believe in holistic medicine. There's a total toxic load. And prior to getting sick, I think that we all take things for granted until the day of reckoning where we don't feel as well as we used to. And, one of these things, it's not a lack of medications, but the things that have come into our bodies.
Well, I know a lot of people can't sleep because they're worrying about things, and there's a lot of people worry about things that they just can't do anything about. We all do that sometimes. And
Without a
that
doubt.
really
Those
is stressful on the adrenals, right?
big time stress. I would say that one of the most important things is getting adequate sleep. And worrying about things that you can't have any control over is really not worthwhile. You're spinning your wheels, and if you can't do anything about it, give it up to God and don't worry about having that stress you out.
Yeah, but I guess that's a psychological thing people need to learn to do.
Well, you assemble a healthcare team that meets your needs, and if it's somebody that you need to chat with in order to go ahead and get that relief, either yoga, whatever, mindfulness, meditation, whatever it takes to go and just calm that down so you can get a
if
good
there's
night's sleep.
something over the counter that people could use to help their adrenal stress, is there anything? I know you guys do applied kinesiology and you test people, but is there anything that's like universal?
One of the universal things that's very safe is just using magnesium. We tend to lose magnesium when we're stressed. And something as simple as magnesium or an Epsom salt bath may be very helpful in terms of reducing that stress.
Oh, so that's good to know. So everybody can get magnesium.
Absolutely. And a cup of Epsom salts in a warm bath goes a long ways, especially with a drop or so of lavender or your essential oil of choice may be very helpful for you.
Oh, essential oils. Which ones? Do you know?
Again, there are things that lavender is one that people like. Chamomile is another. And so, these are things that are just very
I did not know you were into essential oils. I love that.
Well, I think that a lot of people are. I think that I could certainly use a little bit more expertise, but it's certainly something that people just don't get hurt by. And so it's a real safe thing. If you find somebody who has some expertise, they may be quite helpful.
Does vitamin C help with adrenals, or is that just...
Oh, vitamin C that's a real good point, Char. I would say that the three things that really help feed the adrenals, vitamin C being one of those, magnesium the other, and B5, which is pantothenic acid, is quite helpful. I think that a lot of us forget that Linus Pauling's work was fabulous, and unfortunately the medical community ridiculed his work, and to this day we've been underdosing vitamin C. I generally tell people they're never going to overdose with vitamin C. You can go ahead and take that to bowel tolerance, and that'd be a good place to start also in terms of helping the adrenals.
Maybe I mean, that kind of prevents colds, or does it?
It most definitely does.
Does it?
As primates, we are unable of making any vitamin C. So I tell people, take a decent amount of vitamin C. Start with a couple of thousand and move your way up from there. Again, you'll never overdose with that, and it'll keep your immune system strong and your
Okay.
adrenals.
So the second factor was adrenal stress. No, not adrenal, deficiencies.
Deficiencies are things that, I still remember back in medical school, one of the lecturers got up and really a naive statement saying anybody who consumed a standard American diet will never see any nutritional deficiencies. When we see a new patient, we probably find about 3-4 major nutritional deficiencies the moment they walk in through our doors. And so I think that is a statement that is rather naive, and I think that we are dealing with tremendous amounts of nutritional deficiencies. And most people, they don't know how to eat a great diet. I
Right.
certainly know that my medical education was woefully lacking. We got very little instruction on nutrition, and so I think people come forward with a tremendous amount of nutritional
So
deficiencies.
how do people know what they're deficient in?
You know what? You probably need to see somebody who has a little bit of a better understanding of nutrition. I think that would be helpful. Again, your chiropractors, etc., people who do applied kinesiology can help you out with that.
And then,
People with doctor degrees can go ahead, draw lab work, and check via that mode. There's numerous ways of finding out what you're deficient in.
like people who do NAET.
NAET will go ahead and use applied kinesiology, and they can not only find out what you're deficient in, but also things that you react allergically to.
So that's your number 3 factor impacting your health is, our health, is allergies.
Yes, allergies are a big, big component. And I think that we generally start by, I think that everybody who walks into our office will go ahead and on their standard blood test will check for sensitivities to milk proteins and to wheat. And it is rare that we don't find some type of sensitivity. Despite that, I think that it's important for us to go ahead and look for these things because people really want to go ahead and have a hard copy of a lab before they give up something. However, regardless of that, I think that anybody can do a withdrawal and challenge. Go without wheat or milk proteins for about 3 weeks, then go ahead and challenge yourself with a lot of that. Go have a bunch of pizza or a bunch of fettuccine alfredo.
Right.
I think that that would be a very, very good test to see if you are sensitive to it or not.
So do you know what percentage of people are lactose intolerant or allergic to wheat?
You know what? I would say that wheat sensitivities is something that we will find some pretty significant sensitivities or appreciable sensitivities in about 70% of the population. In regards to milk protein sensitivities, and that's different from lactose. Lactose is the sugar that's in milk products, but the casein is the protein that's in that. We find that people have casein antibodies in probably greater than 95% of the population. And so it's pretty
My
sizable.
goodness.
Yeah, that's
Well,
sizable.
who are the 5%? I don't think it's me.
It's very, very few. I'm quite surprised when I get a lab back. It doesn't show a significant casein sensitivity.
Maybe
What's
it's,
kind of surprising though? These people may not show much of anything initially, but once we go ahead and get them tanked up on their nutritional status, etc., their body starts functioning a little bit better, and they do show up a bit later on, maybe a year or so later. They may show that in their blood work.
okay, that's fascinating. But maybe like some Aborigines or somebody in the middle of nowhere. Maybe they don't have a sensitivity because they don't have access to it.
Correct. I think that 70% of the pediatric immunizations have casein in it, and that's the milk protein. They use that as an irritant, and then we start consuming milk at a very, very young age. By the time that we're a year old, we're probably consuming milk products, and so we become sensitized to it quite easily.
And what about toxins? That's number 4 on your list.
Toxins are ubiquitous. I think that it is nonsense if anybody does not believe that we have a toxic overload. Anybody who is living in the United States is going to have their share of man-made particles coming into their body. Plastics, pesticides, herbicides, solvents, heavy metals. What's interesting is if you're in your 70s, you're going to have the heaviest load of heavy metals because you lived the greatest amount of time when there was lead gasoline, followed by people my generation who are in their 60s. We have a bit less, but we have significantly more than people who are in their 50s and 40s. The younger dentists that are coming out now are no longer using the metal amalgam fillings that are at least 50% mercury. So mercury's starting to go ahead and go away from our environment.
I
And these
had
are
all
good
of
things.
that taken out of my mouth.
And these are things that even though you've had the amalgam fillings removed from your mouth, you probably should be chelated to go ahead and see how much residual heavy metals are there after having them reside within your body for decades.
Oh, 'cause
They're
they
still
were
there. The half-life
there.
of heavy metals in our bodies
That's
is
a
30
good
years.
idea.
And so, yeah.
Wow, that is a good idea. Okay, and then number 5, last but not least on your factors impacting health, is infections.
Again, I think that everybody in holistic medicine agrees about the total toxic load What's a little bit more difficult to grasp is total infectious load. And I think that all of us, I think we understand infection, but by the time that you get the signs of pus, pain, and fever, that's a very, very late finding. I think a lot of us, when we're not feeling on our game, when we're feeling a bit tired, a bit depressed, don't feel like we're getting out of bed easily, I think that's the beginning of a microbial growth and overload that is cumbering our physiology and making us feel run down. I think that you need to intercede at a much earlier stage, and certain things such as the vitamin C are very good at keeping the immune system strong.
And not allowing infection. Can you give us some tips of how not to catch someone else's bacterial infection?
I'll tell you, the most common entrance point is through our upper airway. And I would say that, without a doubt, good hand washing helps out quite a bit. But during this time of the year, fall and early winter is an extreme time for the bulk of us with our respiratory tree. And
Why
what
is
I do
that?
is I will go ahead and use my neti pot every morning when I'm in the shower. And I do it a little bit different. I get my neti pot, which holds about a cup of fluid. I
Right.
make sure that the water is quite warm, about 102 degrees.
Right.
I put in a quarter teaspoon of salt, and I put 1 drop of Lugol's, which is liquid iodine. And that will go
Oh.
and sterilize the sinuses very nicely. And I do that on a regular basis.
Well, do you use
to go
distilled
ahead
water?
and
Do you distill water or regular water?
regular water, tap water works fine because, again, this
and
is
Celtic
something that
sea salt.
it is sterilized. But once you go ahead and put a drop of Lugol's in it, which is liquid iodine, that will go ahead and sterilize the water for you.
And do you use Celtic sea salt, right?
Yes, use a quarter teaspoon of Celtic sea salt in that, good minerals, and that combination works very well. Not only will the iodine destroy microbes on contact, it's mucolytic, and so you don't get this big mucus plug forming in your sinuses, and things flow a bit better, and that way you don't get stagnation in the sinuses. And I find that very, very effective.
Boy,
But you feel-
that's a
yeah.
preventative thing that we all can do easily.
Correct. And you can do that on a regular basis. The other thing that you can do is, as soon as you feel like you've got a cold coming on, a hot bath or get into a sauna or some form of heat. Get your body temperature up. For every degree that you raise your body temperature, your immune system works 1,000-fold greater. Do that,
that's
step up the
fascinating.
vitamin C. I think those things are very, very
So
beneficial.
when you get the chills, you go in the bathtub.
You got it. Hot bath with a cup of Epsom salts works very, very well.
Boy, you know your stuff.
Well, I've been doing it for a long time, and it
Yeah,
does work.
but I can't thank you enough for being here and for sharing this with everybody, because you gave us some practical things to do that everybody who watches CharVision and listens to CharVision can do. Thank you so much.
Good health to everybody. And Char, thank you so much.
Thank you, and good health to you, and all my best.
All righty. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
Okay, everybody. Well, I guess I'm going to let you go because you probably still have your last minute shopping to do. And we'll see you next week, this coming Friday on CharVision. You know you can always binge watch on YouTube. If you go to YouTube and put in CharVision, you can watch all our shows. Thank you so much. Take good care. See you soon. If you like what you've seen on CharVision, then go to char.net and book a personal reading with me, or join a group reading, or join one of my workshops where I teach you to be psychic and intuitive.